Hello and welcome to Third Shift Comics. Today we are going to dive into the first issue of Joe Kelly's run on Amazing Spider-Man. This is Legacy issue 965. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and if you like this video, give it a like and or comment. Thank you, and let's get into it. The issue starts with Peter at a job interview with an employer who just let him get the interview so he can press him about all the money he lost when Parker Industries went under. After this, we get a job interview montage with various employers that do not go well. The next scene is a scene of Peter helping Aunt May hang a photo of Uncle Ben, Aunt May, and Peter. When Peter gets a call and gets offered the job of supervising engineer of cooperative disciplines at Rand Enterprises, he is ecstatic and accepts the offer. But when he tells Aunt May that an old friend named Brian Nehring vouched for him, Aunt May doesn't seem too ecstatic. He goes to Rand Enterprises and meets with Brian, and they discuss why Brian vouched for Peter, and it's basically because they were friends once and Brian knows that Peter is a better man than him, so why not? Right as Peter is about to meet with his new boss, Rhino is seen rampaging through the streets, and Peter has to make his exit so Spider-Man can make his grand entrance. After a few punches and few quips, Spidey starts to realize that something is off with the Rhino, stating that he's been pretty chill of late and that yes, he's been hired as muscle, but not an outright rampage machine. So Spider-Man decides to stop him fast and lifts and swings a box truck over his head and slams it down on Rhino like a hammer. All this does is pause the Rhino for a second, and then he bursts through the truck and boom, Rhino stops cold in his tracks and hits the ground. Spidey gets closer because he knows it should have taken a lot more to take down Alexei. Spider-Man checks his chest for a heartbeat and there isn't one, so Spider-Man screams for someone to call the police and starts doing CPR. With this being Rhino, he basically is wailing on his chest in an adaptive form of CPR. Before we see the outcome, we are whisked off to Kingsley Tower, where a man named Simon is telling Mr. Kingsley that Rhino survives because of Spidey's intervention and is expected to make a full recovery. Simon says that Rhino is being held at Ravencroft and that markers are present. Kingsley says to only intervene if there is a danger of discovery, and Kingsley tells Simon to leave. When he does so, Kingsley talks to another person draped in shadows. They discuss how the heart attack may have triggered suspicion, which will trigger an investigation. The figure agrees to take care of Rhino, and we get a glimpse of the Hobgoblin's costume in a case. Then we are whisked off to another scene with Peter and his friends out drinking and having a grand time. Peter's best friend Rand says something about clients in East Harlem that piques Peter's interest, and he decides to swing over as Spider-Man and do some light B&E into Rhino's apartment. As Spidey is looking around, his spider sense starts to hum at a low frequency and slowly rises into a blaring alarm in his head. And then boom, every one of Spidey's past villains are ready to attack. Now we jump into a press conference where Norman Osborn is about to announce his resignation from Oscorp. When someone attacks him over a past Goblin deed, Osborn gets a good hit in and starts beating the man down. And after he's done, Osborn walks out and stops and says he's not resigning because he has the responsibility to make amends for the past sins he's committed. Then we are whisked off to somewhere in Arizona with a group of people who are looking for something unknown to the readers. Then, when a cliffside crumbles, a figure walks out draped in armor. Overall, I like this issue. It's safe, which yes can be a bad thing, but it can also be a good thing, and with the last run, I'm thinking that it's a good start. And then Pepe Larraz's art is just amazing. It's detailed, expressive, and overall stunning. I love this man's art in this series so far, and I can't wait to get more. I love that the Spider Signal is back, one of my favorite gadgets from Spider-Man. The story is just starting out, so it's kind of slow, kind of feels like Brand New Day with all the job interviews and stuff. And hopefully we get a more original run here soon that can be its own thing. But overall, I would give this issue a 7 out of 10. Not the greatest, but definitely not the worst, and it is definitely worth picking up.